worst puppy advice I've ever been given from veterinarians, trainers, are some of the most common things I see new puppy parents do every single day. First one being, never take your puppy out in public before they get their shots. And the second part of that is, once they do get their shots, make sure you socialize them by taking them to dog parks and doggy daycares. And this is some of the worst advice I was ever given. You see, those first few weeks, up to 3 to 4 months old, is when your puppy is developing their confidence. It's when they're learning their social relationships with the environment around them. In fact, I would argue that socialization is the most, if not one of the most important things that we do for our puppies when we first bring them home, starting day one. And so then you may be asking, okay, Rachel, my vet said that I need to be careful to not have my dog or my puppy be exposed to other dogs because of diseases. And they're absolutely right. We want to keep our puppies safe from diseases, but that doesn't mean that we can't start the socialization process safely. One easy example is when you're working with your puppy on basic cues, commands, and tricks, or even feeding your puppy, you can take a nice thick blanket and go to your front yard and start working on your puppy focusing on you and eating their meals or playing with you, because to your puppy, your front yard is a whole new jungle. Another easy way you can start socializing right now is have a friend, neighbor, or family come over to your house and practice your puppy being calm. One easy way to do that is to set up a snuffle mat. My favorite ones are linked below, and then they learn that when people come over, instead of jumping up or barking or being nervous, they're going to engage and redirect that excitement or nervous energy into an activity that works their mind. Another piece of puppy advice that I would absolutely not follow today, knowing what I know, is to be super, super gentle and soft with our puppies and coddle them and essentially have them live in a bubble. No, 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 no. When I bring a new puppy home, you better believe that I'm gonna be loud, not overly loud, but I'm gonna run the dishwasher. I'm gonna run the vacuum. If they're napping, I'm making noise. If they're playing around, I'm not gonna tiptoe. If I drop a dish, I'm not gonna go down and say, puppy, puppy, I hope you're okay. I'm just gonna keep moving as if nothing happened. I'm gonna play noises on the TV like fireworks, car backfires, other dogs barking, birds chirping, kids crying and laughing on the TV, so they start getting used to different noises and sensations. I'm going to pick that puppy up and I'm going to handle them. Of course, I'm going to be gentle and cautious, but I'm not going to just tiptoe around them. I'm going to touch their toes, touch their paws, touch their nose, their teeth, their ears, their underbelly, their behind. The goal, in my opinion, is to expose puppies to as many new and different environments, sounds, sensations as possible, with always ensuring that they have a positive outcome, a positive experience during that, so that when they get older, when they are approached with something that they're not familiar with, they have had plenty of experiences of going, okay, when I was little, I used to have a lot of different sensations and sounds and balls and movements, and nothing bad ever happened. So when this new scary thing comes to me, I'm not as worried about it. Now, probably the worst piece of bad puppy advice I received when Bentley was a puppy was around food. There's really two parts of this. The first part was to free feed him and let him eat as much and as frequently as he wanted. And the second part of this bad advice was to feed him only his kibble and nothing else. Never give him any real fresh foods, never add moisture to his bowl. And I still remember thinking at the time, I had just earned my bachelor's degree in nutrition science. And I remember thinking, this just doesn't make sense for a facultative or scavenger carnivore. Like, why am I only feeding him this bowl of dry, ultra-processed nuggets or pellets and nothing else? But I just kind of blindly followed the advice that was given to me by my vet. And now, many, many moons later, I'm realizing that was just an insane, insane move on my part. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you one of the foods I really love for dogs as well as puppies. First off, let's think about dog development. When they're a puppy, this is the most and the fastest that they are going to grow and develop in their entire life. So it is absolutely critical that in this time frame, at minimum, in this time frame of being a puppy, that they are getting the most nutrient dense, complete and balanced whole food diet. Dogs, especially puppies, can thrive when they're eating and consuming real, whole, fresh foods. The reason I don't love fully free feeding for most puppies is because what can happen is they can eat too much. There's a study done that shows that overweight dogs in general, when they're obese, it can lessen their lifespan by 2 years. And I'll have a ton of resources linked for you below, because my intention is not to tell you what to do when it comes to feeding or caring for your puppy, instead to arm you with research and resources. So what I love to do is to take my puppy's kibble bowl of their complete and balanced food, and then to add and replace a little bit of their kibble with real whole fresh foods, no more than 5 to maybe 15% of their bowl, because I want to make sure that they're getting kind of that complete and balanced base. I love to add things like raw goat milk from your local pet shop. I love to add things like some homemade bone broth with no salt or seasoning added, or canned sardines in water, no salt, no seasoning, no marinara, lightly steamed broccoli. Just adding a little bit on that bowl can make a world of difference. Or you can opt to feed a more fresh food diet. One brand that I love, that you as a community have continually asked me about. So I finally, over the last few months, have been testing the food. I reached out to them directly, and I said, hey, I have a lot of people wanting to know more about your food, but I don't know how you manufacture, how you source, who formulates your food. And so they had a great conversation with me. They were very transparent, and now I'm a big fan of this real fresh food subscription diet. Huge thanks to Farmer's Dog for supporting our mission to save all the damn dogs by sponsoring this part of the video. I have become a fan of what they stand for and their product. And basically what they are a fresh food, real food, human grade option that is complete and balanced for dogs, from puppies as soon as they're weaned from their moms all the way up to senior dogs. You order it, it comes directly to you on dry ice, and you don't have to think about serving size, because this plan is specific to your dog's protein need and requirements, as well as how much they need to eat, which is really important for puppies because their dietary requirements change fairly frequently. So having a plan that knows your dog's age, size, breed, any allergies that they might have, and just having it deliver to your doorstep without you thinking about it, so you literally just open it up and serve, is really valuable in my opinion. I love the fact that they're human grade. This is something that is very rare in the pet food industry, and you may be thinking, what does that mean? Human grade means that it's food fit for you or I as humans to eat. It's not to say that this food is made for humans, it's to say that the ingredients and the proteins that they used are fit for human consumption. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy your family some chicken or beef or turkey, it is going to be the same quality, if not better, with this food than what you'd get at the grocery store. Unlike most other pet foods, kibbles out there, they are using 4D diseased animal rendered meats, meaning food that you or I would not even legally be able to eat. And that is extremely popular, especially in the kibble space. So it is really important to me that when I'm looking for a pet food for my puppy or even adult dog, it is human grade, it is responsibly sourced, and they're using real whole food. Something that really stands out to me about Farmer's Dog is when you look at their ingredients, and I would love for you to compare the ingredients of this, and I'll have it all linked down below for you. There is a special link for you, of course, special offer. When you compare the ingredients of a Farmer's Dog food compared to most any kibble out there, the ingredient deck is going to be like half of the size, and that's because they are getting their nutrients from whole real food ingredients without the use excessive amount of fillers like peas and corn. This food was formulated by a vet nutritionist based on the way that dogs were biologically designed to eat and get their nutrients. They only gently cook at low temperatures their food. So first off, that makes feeding really easy. There's no special prep. Again, it arrives to you in a box like this. You actually get feeding instructions based on your dog. So you can see here, Bentley's feeding guide, Finnegan's feeding guide, so it tells you exactly what to do, as well as information on the recipes of the formulas that they sent you, so you know exactly what you're feeding, the guaranteed analysis, which is really helpful so that you're informed, right? You understand and know what you're feeding your dog. It even shows you how to transition if you're going from a kibble or any other brand to this food. And when it arrives to you, it comes with dry ice in this sustainable packaging that you can recycle, and it comes frozen on dry ice. Then you put it in your freezer, and when you're ready to feed it, you pull it out and put it in the fridge about 48 hours before you're gonna feed it. It defrosts in the fridge, you cut open the packet, and you feed it. It's that simple. And I like that because you don't have to prep it, you don't have to cook it, you don't have to do anything special with it. It's also much more naturally moisture rich as well as more nutrient dense. And what I mean by that is earlier we talked about how kibble is processed, and kibble is what 96-97% of pet parents are feeding today. And what happens is during the extrusion and high heat process of manufacturing and processing kibble, the nutrients are depleted out, which is why they add so many synthetics into the food. And because it's cooked at such high temperatures, it can actually denature the protein and all the moisture is gone, which our dogs need moisture, and they're designed to get that from the foods that they eat. With farmer's dog, because it's not cooked at extremely high temperatures, it's only gently cooked, our dogs are getting a real fresh food diet full of moisture, and the nutrients are much more bioavailable. I love this for dogs, especially picky puppies. This is going to be a food that is going to be a game changer. They even come with these little to-go containers to where if you only have to feed half the pack, if you have a smaller dog, you can put the remaining in this. And what I love about the ingredients in this and then guaranteed analysis is that the carbohydrates are not excessively high, which is really important to me because I love foods that are really rich in healthy protein and rich in healthy fats. And then above all else, it's just really easy and simple to use. And to me, that's really important because you and I, we're just trying to do the best that we can for our dogs, but we also have a lot of other things going on in our life. So when we have something like what we feed them every day taken off our mind and just sent to us directly every week or every month, it's really a stress reliever. So if you want to check this out, there are special links down below. Now let's talk about one of the worst pieces of advice I was given with my puppies was to just let them be a puppy. Don't crate them. Just let them have fun. Let them have free reign of the house. Just let them be free. They're growing, they're exploring. Don't be so restrictive, and definitely don't start training them day one. And these are the opposite of the things that I believe that puppies should have or be exposed to starting day one. So when I bring a puppy home, day one, I start crate training. Now, does that mean that I leave them alone in the crate for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours? No, absolutely not. But do I start getting them exposed and comfortable with the crate day one by starting to feed their meals in and around the crate and playing activities with them and rewarding them anytime they go around it right away? Absolutely. Another mistake I did was not giving my puppies enough alone time right away. This is really a struggle because we get our cute puppies and we just want to spend all our time with them, which is understandable. I was the same way. But the mistake that I did was spending too much time with my puppy, especially my Labrador when he was young, and I took him everywhere with me, whether it was to the bedroom or to my office, or we'd go to the backyard, or I'd go to the mailbox and I'd carry him with me. And what happened is he started to develop a dependence on me, and he didn't learn how to be a dog on his own. So what I do now with puppies is I use playpens or baby gates and or crates, soft crates, hard crates. All my favorite crates and everything are linked to my shop page below to get them used to having alone time. Anytime they fall asleep on for a nap, which puppies do a lot, I gently go put them in their crate. I may leave the gate open, their door open in the beginning, but this way they start to learn like, oh, when I'm tired, I go retreat to my crate. If I'm gonna go take a shower, I might put them in their crate. If I'm gonna do dishes, maybe they're in the playpen, because what I don't want them to do is become too dependent on having me in their presence at all time. That's really setting them up to be anxious and nervous. The other part of that is managing their environment. A lot of people come to me and say, Rachel, my dog is peeing everywhere, my puppy's chewing on everything, they're getting into everything, like how do I do this? And my potty training video link below has helped millions of people. And one of the premises of that is managing their environment using playpens or baby gates and confining them to maybe one area or one section of the house. In the beginning, as they get older and earn trust and learn more, of course I give them more rein. But in the beginning, I make sure that if I can't keep my eye on them, then they're in a smaller playpen area or a crate. If I can keep my eye on them, they're in a larger confined area. For example, with my mom's dog Wally when he was a puppy, we put playpens and baby gates around the big living and dining room area where we spent most of the time. And this is where he spent a lot of his time his first few weeks, so we could keep a better eye on him and take him out to potty if he started showing signs. It also made puppy proofing easier in that smaller space, so he had less likelihood of getting into things that he shouldn't, that could be dangerous, or things that he would chew on. The net of that is to set our puppies up for success. So if we manage the environment and we keep them away from areas they can get into trouble or danger, then we're setting them up for success. The other thing is people are always asking me, Rachel, when can I start training my puppy? And my answer is, and always will be, now that I've learned better, is to start today. I started day 1, week 1, month 1, working on basic sits and cues. And you want to know the easiest way to do it? Work with them during mealtime. Instead of just putting a bowl on the ground, you know we're team no dog bowl here. We work with our puppy basic, again, sits and cues. We'll work with them on leash training in the house, having a little harness on them and a leash tethered to my side, my favorite one linked below. And I just become a Pez dispenser with their food that they're so motivated to get, and walk around the house as they're following by my side. And when they go in or near their crate, I'm feeding them with their crate. When they're being quiet by the back door, I'm feeding them. Using mealtime to work with them and reinforce the behavior that we want to see can be an excellent way to set them up for long-term success and to make your life easier when they're older. Now let's talk about punishing our puppies. A lot of people have opinions on how often we should punish puppies, if we should punish puppies. And the way that I punish dogs and the way that I punish puppies especially is I don't. I am not an advocate for giving any kind of negative reinforcement or punishment to my dogs or puppies. Instead of that, I just redirect and I set them up for success. What I mean by that is if my puppy is chewing on a piece of furniture, instead of yelling at them or fussing at them or throwing something at them, which I've seen people do, I just redirect. And I also take responsibility, because if your puppy is doing something, and don't hate me for this is me too, but if they have an accident in the house, if they chew a cable that you weren't paying attention to, that's the key. You missed it. You didn't properly puppy proof, or you didn't see them give a signal, even if it was subtle, that they needed to go out. So if they make a mistake, it's really on you. And I don't say that in a derogatory way. I say that because I think it helps us take more ownership and accountability of that frustration we feel in that moment when there's a pile of pee or poo on the carpet, when we can look at that and say, darn, I wasn't paying close enough attention. That's on me. It's not on the puppy. What that does is that transfers that frustration from the dog to you, and then you just do better next time. You pay more attention, you puppy proof, you manage their environment. But when it comes to punishing, if they're chewing on something they shouldn't, I just redirect. I can go get behind them and go, puppy, puppy, puppy. They turn around. As soon as they look at me, I mark it with a marker Q, Y-E-S, yes. And then I give them something that they can chew on, and then I reward them for that, and then I go cover up that piece of furniture so they can't get back to it. If my puppy pees in the house, I'm not rubbing their nose in it, I'm not yelling at them, I just gently pick them up, take them outside, and I restart the potty training process. My potty training videos are all linked below, because what happens is when we yell at our puppies or our dogs, we fuss at them, they don't take that as negative reinforcement. Instead, they take that as attention. Oh, wow, when I chew on the curtains, mom or dad screams at me, they're giving me attention. So I'm gonna go chew on the curtains some more, instead of, wow, anytime I chew on the curtain, I'm actually given this toy, and this toy feels better, or this chew feels better on my gums and teeth than that curtain. This is more valuable. So next time I have the urge or desire to chew on something, instead of going to that curtain, I'm gonna come to this chew. And that, my friends, is how we train our puppies, is by rewarding the behavior that we want and redirecting away from the behaviors that we don't want. It's really that simple. Now, it takes a lot of practice and time, and sometimes you feel like you're gonna go crazy in consistency, and there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, but that is gonna be the quickest way to do that while also not pushing our dogs to be shut down or shutting down our dogs. Now, okay, let's talk about potty training and my one-step process that has helped millions of you. Click the video right here and I'll jump over there with you right now. Or if you wanna learn more about crate tips, click the video right here, and don't forget to click that subscribe button, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.